Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Powersights by PowerView. As usual, in this podcast, we invite experts from different fields and ask them latest questions about latest trends, challenges, and what's happening in the world of tech to get those insights which can power you, your business, and your team. And today we have a fantastic guest, Mr. Samuel Alexander. He's the founder and CEO of C2C Fashion and Technology. It's an Austin based brand focused on sustainable and technological progressive fashion. He is immensely experienced and with over 3 decades of experience in the fashion industry, he has closely seen and contributed to this revolution of the apparel business. He's been featured in publications like Forbes, and he's been instrumental in promoting the growth and development of so many major fashion labels. He is a recognized expert in all things digital, and I am sure some of the things which we are going to hear today are going to just blow our minds off. So thank you, Samuel, for joining us.
Thanks for welcoming me.
As usual, we are going to, understand understand some of the key latest things that's happening in the world of apparel and where do you see AI taking them. So my first question would be, just to start with the basics, I mean, how did you come into this whole journey of apparel and combining it with digital technology?
Uh, Basically, I started in the fashion world with Levi Strauss and Company, Gloria Vanderbilt, Jones, New York, and industry jobs. But I can go through the list of all the major companies I've worked with here in the U.S. Plus, I started importing products in from Europe, Asia, and South America. So I brought in most of the major companies and set their distribution up here in the U.S. The industry had issues at one point when all the department stores started buying up all the specialty department stores. It took the industry away from fashion into more commodity type productions, which took our factories to the point to where the minimums became so high that you couldn't become creative. And that's pretty much what hurt the industry as a whole, was the ability not to have production. And most of your factories here in the U.S. shut down because of the labor costs that you were able to do in Asia and South America. So now what we're doing right now is rebuilding the industry back and reshoring it back to the U.S., but we're using the new, latest and greatest in technology to do that. Our biggest issue was labor costs, so now we have robotics and artificial intelligence to replace a lot of the labor costs that we had in the past. We're also going away from mass production to customization on demand. We have to become more sustainable as an industry. We are probably the worst behind the petrochemical industry as far as destroying the earth. We destroy 20% of the water waste for the whole world with our industry. We have 8% of the carbon, 80% of our products end up in landfills, and then another 80% of our products are petrochemical related. So we are a very destructive industry, and we have to change our ways. The bottom line of it is with this new technology. And when we talk about the new technologies, we're not just talking about artificial intelligence. We start out on the front side of it, which are sensors, which is everybody's going after the metaverse, which I want nothing to do with that. We call ours the multiverse because we're doing augmented, mixed reality, extended reality, and holograms. That is our focus. The metaverse is more of a gaming type product that is great for those guys, but as far as for mass appeal, we're actually moving away from hardware altogether and moving to basically your augmented and your mixed reality. We're also looking at gesture interaction versus touchscreens. So we're moving everything a complete direction away from the metaverse, as they call it. Let Facebook and all those guys have that. They can have it all. And so what you're seeing right now is because of the problems that we've had with logistics, the logistics for the world has broken down. Just to give you an idea, a container that was costing me $3,500 went to $35,000 at one point this last year. Container ships that were costing us $20,000 a day went to $250,000 a day. Then China shut down with the COVID. So a lot of your production in China, India, and South America was shut down because of COVID. So now we have a broken logistics system that cannot be fixed. So it opens up an opportunity right now for us to reshore using the latest and greatest in technology to do it. The biggest problem that we're having right now is you've got a lot of people stuck with an analog mentality and they don't want to change. They call it art, but it's not art because art is creativity. Art is moving things forward and understanding how to change things and make things happen in a different way. So we're looking for creative people now that have the ability to take this technology and move it to the next dimension. We're on the forefront of artificial intelligence. As far as artificial intelligence in the fashion industry, it is very limited right now, and a lot of it is gimmick. And what we're looking for is building out a foundation of products that we can actually market to the consumer. And when you start talking about artificial intelligence, you're looking at predictive analytics. There's no more marketing and sales in predictive analytics. We can analyze what the consumer wants before they even know what they want based on the analytics that we can pull from their database. Data is the new currency. The data is the most powerful thing that you can have in the world. It will replace everything else as far as what terminology as far as business. The people that will be successful are the ones that are in data mining, data science, data mining, and artificial intelligence. On the bottom of artificial intelligence is obviously machine learning. And when you tie all those things together with the augmented mixed reality and extended reality and holograms, and then you add in artificial intelligence, machine learning, on top of IoT, which everything will be connected, that can be connected. So the whole world is connecting now into a microeconomy. Forget about macroeconomy. It's over with. Those dinosaurs are about to die, especially when we move into Web3, because we're moving into a whole nother dimension with DOSs and DApps and Web3. We're also moving into autonomous technology, which tied to artificial intelligence changes the whole world perspective altogether. You're also looking at companies that are small companies being more agile than the bigger companies because they've got too many employees, too much overhead, and they don't have the ability to change as fast as the smaller companies do, especially utilizing the newest and greatest in technologies available out there to them. Then when you go onto the back end of it and you look at how the job market is changing, now we're moving away from robotic people to robots and AI, and the people are becoming creative and they're using their creative skills to move this whole process forward. And we have to use everything that we're doing to become a more sustainable world, not just an industry, but the whole world has to become more sustainable.
So
there's a lot of stuff fast.
That's a lot of stuff, and like I said previously as well, I am sure, when businesses are going to listen to this, they are going to feel like dinosaurs, all you need to wait is just to get extinct. And whatever you just said, fixing all those issues, the supply chain issues, and where all of this is going. So,
but we're not trying to fix it. We're reinventing from the ground up. Think about what Tesla did. He reinvented the car industry from the ground up, and he's invented IoT to where all of his products interact with each other. They're all connected. So that's what the world is all about, connecting everything into ecosystems. And the key is microsystems, not macro. The bigger you are, the harder you fall right now. And as you said a minute ago, they're dinosaurs just waiting to be slain. You're going to see major department stores, besides Neiman's, file bankruptcy. They're gone. They can't sustain themselves in this new environment. So they have to reinvent themselves, and instead of being passive retailers, they have to be complete interactive when you walk into the store. And that's about becoming digitalized. And most of them are too analog to ever become digital.
So you've been introducing so many interesting fashion techs like the AR virtual try-on, the AI-based personal shopper. How fast are the businesses reacting to this change? And, have you seen them adopting it, or are they way behind light years and, catching up with the trend?
Most of them are still using fax machines.
I think that's the best way you could have answered this.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to move them forward. And the ones that want to move forward, we're giving them the ability to interact in an ecosystem that will give them a powerful advantage over any of their competitors. But the rest will have to compete with technology, and it's very difficult for them to compete with technology.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, there are there's maybe, like you said, the personalization, the recommendations, and these are, this is something which you should have been having at least 2 or 3 years back, at least. and people
Hmm.
are still waking up to the fact that these are just the starting points of what technology can do to you.
Yeah,
What
we're
are
on the
some of the
frontier. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
yeah
you.
so I was just what are some really crazy or amazing use cases where you are using AI right now, which companies can't even think of at this point of time?
We have a program that we've developed in AI. So basically, you can take a picture of yourself and it will analyze everything from the color of your skin to the hair color to your clothing. And then it'll go out and find products to merchandise with what you're wearing. As you click on the things that you like, it learns your behavior, and the machine learning readdresses the product presentation to your behavior.
Wow. So any store owner can integrate this in your site, and all they need to do is just upload a photo or a photo.
To click a photo and it'll go out and find the products and you once you start clicking on the products that you like, then the machine learning learns your behavior and readdresses the products to your behavior and likes and dislikes. It also has trend forecasting in it, so it gives you products that'll be on the trends of what's going on in the marketplace based on the behavior of other consumers.
Nice. And would it also consider the shape, the size, the fitting, and everything?
Correct. We have a fit software that basically we can analyze your fit by taking pictures of your front and your back, and then we use artificial intelligence based on the region and your numbers that you give us. We'll analyze it and then create an avatar of you that you'll be able to go into our made to measure and be able to design your own clothes. We have 100 trillion SKUs and are available for you to design from, and multiple fabrics that you can design from. And within 7 days after you design the product, it'll be finished in production. In 3 to 5 days, it'll be at your front door, made to measure.
Great. So that's a brilliant one. What else? We did visit your site, and there were some other really, I think it was the whole digital procurement, if I am using the term correctly.
Just to kind of back up and give you some information on where we're looking at. And as far as the overall picture, in artificial intelligence, we're using it for market intelligence, trend predictions, robotics and clothing production, product customization, customer service, quality control, design and buying, chain inventory management, AI personal assistant, 3D bots, and avatar fit and personal shoppers. On top of that, we work on top of the blockchain. On the blockchain, we use it for transparency in the supply chain, intellectual property, product authentication, real-time inventory visibility, blockchain factoring and finance, blockchain contracts and data sharing, decentralized and peer-to-peer integration, cryptocurrency, token identification, dApps, and NFTs. And NFTs are not monkeys; they're all different types of contracts and legal.
So if you could simplify it a bit for us. So if you had to describe this in a simplest way to an apparel business owner, how would it work for them? What are the things he or she could do using this whole
Okay.
blockchain?
Within our ecosystem, as far as a retailer, if they were wanting to design their own products for their stores, we have the ability for them to go online and create their own product labels with our made to measure, and it'll do small runs for them. We can do as few as one up to thousands if they need the product in that quantity. But they'll be able to design based on market trends, based on new fabrics, based on all the things that people want to know about before they get to market. And then half the time when they leave market, they don't get that information. All that information will be supplied to them through artificial intelligence.
Okay,
And so
everything within the platform.
right, they can design their own product line, and for their stores, a consumer can design their own personal products for themselves. And we give them the opportunity to also utilize this technology within the store by having scanners in the store to be able to help the people in understanding how to utilize this technology if they're willing to go that direction. The problem is getting people to move that direction right now because they're stuck in the analog world. And I can't wait for them to move. Either they move with us or we have to bypass them.
Agreed. So we recently, spoke to someone, and they were facing this major issue of returns where, they were getting orders on their online store, but the returns were huge, probably
Right.
because, the buyers couldn't guess the right size for them. And they are working on a solution on whether, they could identify, maybe by uploading a photo or maybe some other solution
We,
on getting the right fit while buying it.
we have
So
an advantage over most companies because we have all of our tech packs that are already built into our ERP, and we can compare the actual fit of the customer to the actual ERP system that we have that has all of the grading and tech packs in the system for each product.
nice. So you just have to upload a photo and the tech would do the rest.
Do the rest, right? It'll create the avatar for you based on your exact style and size.
So one more thing to add over here is that customers who are currently preferring digital experiences over offline experiences are some way or someday going to move to offline experiences as well. So how are you using AI and AR and avatars kind of technologies to merge all of these experiences and provide them an omni-channel experiences for shopping? How are you using tech for that in the fashion industry?
We understand the consumer that they're moving away from a quantity of life to a quality of life. And we understand as far as in mass production, they're looking at utilitarian type products. So we offer those type products for them to become a part of their quality of life. Then the other side of it is that we're looking at how to use wearable technology. We specialize in our growth will be in nano and biotech smart products. We just actually did the uniforms for the space shuttle for NASA a couple of weeks ago. We have new fibers that we're incorporating into the garments to make them IoT. We have a battery that we can actually weave into the fabric now. That's a lithium battery that'll recharge your products. We have a fiber it's a crystal fiber. It takes the heat from your body, turns it into far infrared, redirects it back into your skin, which reduces your cortisol level, which is your anxiety, your stress, and the inability to sleep. It helps you to sleep and have a better quality of life. And then it also increases your nitric oxide, which is your red blood flow, which I don't have to tell you what that'll do for you. But we have all different types of products that are nano and biotech products that we're integrating into the product, into the system. We're also focused in on the back end of Web3, which I'm sure you guys all are focused into. And we're already developing dApps and DOSes, and the DOSes will replace the corporations in a very short period of time. And your dApps are decentralized autonomous applications. And so what we're doing now is we're processing the data at the point of collection and using artificial intelligence for analytics.
So that's a real, I mean, it's like a smart uniform or a smart apparel, which, and with the IoT, I am assuming everything would be connected and, anything that happens in terms of health or any change in the atmosphere, I'm assuming that would be captured immediately with all those things.
Well, you got to think about this. The Internet of Things will connect everything, and blockchain will democratize everything, and AI will solve all our problems. This is the basic foundation of what we're building everything on.
So with all of these things happening, what is it that, and in your words, is forcing or maybe making businesses still stay in the analog world and not adopt all those amazing tech? What is the challenge? Is it knowledge? Is it budget? Is it finding the right partner?
It's people that are not willing to evolve and they hang on to their analog behavior because it's been successful in the past, but they're basing their future on hindsight analytics, and you've got to be looking at predictive analytics and going forward. And most people don't understand predictive analytics yet. You're not guessing at what the customer wants. You're explaining to them what they want before they even know what they want, based on their behavior and their quality of life.
Yeah, it's still hard to imagine for some people. I understand.
But
And
there's always, it's like when, let me give you an example. At one point, people drove covered wagons and horses on the front of them. Somebody invented a car. The guy drove up to the guys with the covered wagon and the horses, and the guy looked at him and says, "Where are your horses at, buddy?" They were joking with him. And he put his finger on the pedal, and he said, "Push that pedal right there and you get as much horsepower as you need." It's going to take that kind of translation to get people to understand that not only did this guy pull up in a horseless carriage, But this horse's carriage right now is a Ferrari. It's not a Model T anymore.
But do you also think that lack of resources is also one of the reasons that stopping companies from adopting AI and all these advanced technologies for their companies?
Most of the companies out there are not adapting because they've got tied into old, expensive technologies, and it's very difficult for them to let go of those old technologies. And the old technologies are actually holding their businesses back. They'd be better off scrapping it and moving to the new technologies, and the cost would go down to probably a tenth of what they're paying for the old technology, and then have a lot more efficient programs. But they're not willing to make that big jump. And it's going to be a jump for those. And if not, they're going to have to compete with the ones that are going to be starting up and utilizing this technology, but creative people. There's no more hindsight analytics anymore. It's all about predictive analytics.
This is actually a very excellent point that many brands and small business need to understand. That whatever cost they're spending, actually it is going to return them a much more higher value than what they are spending right now.
Right. And, we're not looking for the masses. We're looking for the people that are creative enough to understand the power of this technology and utilize it to their advantage, and utilize the new factories and things that we're developing, and understand how to develop these new factories and understand how to utilize them for their business advantage. I mean, why should you carry inventory and hope someone comes in and buy it? Why don't you customize your inventory to your consumer?
Yeah, that's a significant reduction in cost if you could do that.
Right. And why would you produce 10 products and only sell 5 and have to destroy the other 5 because there's no customer there for them, because you have broken sizes, colors get, gone, trends, fashion change. So you have to take 5 of those garments and either put them in a landfill or send them to some third world country, and it ends up in their landfill. We have to quit the destructive behavior that we have. Number one, we're running out of raw materials. Right now, we're focusing on hemp, and we're using hemp to reshore everything to the U.S. We've got 20 fabrics that we've already produced in hemp that we're developing for products here in the U.S.
So that's great. And since you have been working with so many amazing, projects where you have seen this practically evolve, and you have been part of all of this, let's say, let's say a company jumps on this bandwagon and realizes, I am late to this change, I need to move ahead, and they approach you. So what are the most common questions or concerns that these fashion brands or fashion companies have when they approach you for implementing these AI solutions or IoT solutions for that matter?
Okay, number one, everything that we do is software as a service. So they can come in at whatever point they need to come in and be able to apply the products as they need them based on software as a service. If you'll take a look at our C2C intranet, that's our back door for the manufacturers and the retailers to come in and be able to interact at the wholesale level for information, because our intranet, we have all the information of all the trends that are going on. Probably one of the only few places that you can go and see the trends that are going on throughout the world within the IoT industry. Also, we give you information on fiber production and also all types of wearable technology that we're integrating to the products. So it gives you the schooling and education on the C2C intranet. And you'll also be connected with the top people in the world. So it's out there for anybody that wants to expand and go forward. But I cannot force them to change their analog behavior. If they're going to be stuck there, they have to learn that they're going to get bypassed.
Agreed. So, are there any, or if you could share any amazing, how do I put it, impact that you have seen because somebody adopted this intranet or maybe the virtual try-on? Did they see a significant reduction in their returns, or, did they smoothen the whole process, or maybe it helped them, do a lot more with a limited inventory? Any interesting anecdote or case study that comes to your mind right now?
Okay. Every time that you have an issue with our product, if you have any issue, it becomes education and it makes us better. So if we have a problem, we address the problem and we make the adjustment. And the adjustment is that the fit for you is going to get better and better and better. And every time you gain weight or whatever, you lose weight, we'll be able to address that with your scan. So there's all types of adjustments that we can make based on fit. But the other side of it is that there's so many different types of fits for different types of bodies that there's not a universal fit. And that's where those people are making the mistake on their sizing and all these programs that they're developing. They're trying to do it from, well, if you wear this, you're going to wear that. No, it's about how the customer's body is constructed, what part of the country or what part of the world they come from. Every part of the world has a different fit. Germany has a different fit. Italy has a different fit. England has a different fit. The U.S. has a completely different fit. It just depends on the culture of the people. So a lot of people don't realize that in the U.S., women have wider hips and smaller waist. In Europe, they have smaller hips and wider waist. It's just the understanding of the different fits throughout the world. And we make those adjustments in our software.
So one of the things that I would like to know is, like, when companies or the founders decide that we want to jump to a new AI solutions now, it's time for us now. Then they might be coming to you and telling you that we want the solutions, but they are not clear in their mind what solution they need exactly at that point of time, right? So how do you help them identify that this is the solution, this is the service you need at this moment, and you can implement rest of the services in the next phase of your journey. So how did you help them identify and consult them regarding all those things?
At this point, they're going to have to play catch up on their own time and behavior. We'll give them the ability to come into the ecosystem and develop their businesses within the ecosystem and have the ability for bots, which we have assistant bots that will be able to help you to understand the technology and help you work through it. And we're developing we're educating the bots now. So it's going to take some time for us to get those up to speed, but we will have your personal assistant bot that can help you with your business all the way from concept to consumption. Right now, we're using avatars as marketing avatars, which there's just a lot of technology that we're introducing at one time. So there's no way that I can teach anyone all this technology. They have to get in and dig their fingers in and understand that they've got to learn and change their analog behavior to a completely digital mindset. And once they get there, then they'll let go of all their old ways and realize the power of this digital technology.
So those boards work for you as the awareness modules who help people to understand all the technologies that you are offering and how they can integrate with their businesses to grow. Is that what you're trying to say?
We have a new platform that we're releasing this month. It's called C2C Fast Tech, and it's the back door for any retailer, manufacturer, or designer that wants to get in and start their business up. Basically, what we're doing is taking the cost out of starting up your business by giving you the ability to not have to make large runs of clothing. You can make small runs for your own designs. Also, we're doing, I'll take you a little bit further. We're creating NFTs that when you do create a design, you have that, you own the intellectual property of that design. And then you can also license that designer to other people with an NFT.
Any interesting success stories or any interesting case studies that where you see that after implementing these technologies, you see that it helped them streamline their either processes, or they were able to reduce cost drastically, or it gave a boost to their revenue, something like this?
At this point, we are about to launch the main platform, and the only people that we've let on it are our clients, and the advantages that they see, they're moving in and really adapting faster because we're also working with them on a lot of projects. And what we're looking for now are companies that are out there that want to make the change and want to evolve. I have companies contacting me daily that want me to work with them on their analog mindsets, and I just don't have the time to try to bring them and convince them to change their behavior. We're moving so fast right now. Only the people that are the early adapters and are willing to adapt to these technologies and use them to their advantage will be successful going forward. These technologies are not going to go away. We've actually built on which I didn't talk to you guys about, but we've actually got a cryptocurrency financial system built underneath to where we accept right now Bitcoin and Ethereum for any of our products and services. And we also you can pay your invoices with Bitcoin and Ethereum globally on our platform. So we are
Nice.
way out there as far as what we're dealing with. And we're actually already working on Web3, and we're doing our dApps and DOSes now. And we're working with also carbon credits, which most people are not aware of. And a lot of these retailers are going to get a big surprise here shortly, because they all have to become carbon neutral. And if they're not carbon neutral, then they're going to have to buy carbon credits to offset the destruction that they're doing to the earth. So there's a whole nother venue that's coming shortly called carbon credits. 2030, everybody
Agree.
in the world have to be carbon neutral.
Yeah, yeah. So we have this another platform of ours called Snowcap, where it's a platform for all sustainability needs. It's not really specific to
Mm-hmm.
apparel, but you could have your ESG calculator, calculate your carbon emissions, get a sense of how you can streamline your company to ensure that you fall into the ESG guidelines. And during one of those conversations, we realized that, like you rightly said, apparel is an industry where you consume huge amount of resources, and you actually dump a huge amount of resources as well. You are you do pollute the environment to such an extent that it's scary. And when you speak about the sustainability, what are some of the amazing things, or what are things which you see critical and expect to come into force anytime soon, or maybe apparel companies needs to consider them at this point of time?
Well, you have to go back to the supply chain. It's broken completely globally. And you're going to see things happen very quickly because of the lack of products. And people are going to have to become microeconomies and sustainable within their microeconomies. And that's what's going to push this thing forward for everyone, is the ability to be able to be sustainable in your own microeconomy. So everything has to become closer to the consumer, and it has to be a shorter lead time than have it wait 3 to 6 months for a product. So that's where your advantage is there. Then you're looking at all the abilities to monetize your fashion now with NFTs. I mean, if you're creating your own fashion, then that's an NFT. You can create the digital or the physical version at the same time. That we add an RFID chip to the physical version, so it becomes a piece of art, and everything becomes valuable instead of becoming worthless.
So how do you see NFT playing a huge role, or is playing a huge role? Because for a lot of us, when you talk about NFT, it's like a fancy digital art which is bought at crazy amount of money. That is where, when in most cases, we have seen NFT trending. So how is NFT changing the whole apparel scenario right now, or would change
Okay,
the apparel scenario?
what you're looking at is the hype of NFT, is all of the things that you've seen. And what you're not looking at is all of the other tokens that are out there. That NFT is just one of 4 types of tokens. You have a payment token, which is your blockchain. I'm sorry, your Bitcoin and Ethereum. The biggest token that's going to really affect people is the utility token. That token gives you a marketing that is beyond most people's imagination, and when it ties into your production cycle, also it just changes up everything that you can imagine as far as being able to brand, market, and develop products. The other one is your security token. In Web3, your security, you own your data. It's not being taken by Google and Apple and Facebook. You own your own data, and you have a security token that's coming. Then the fourth one is what you're talking about, that everyone else talks about, is the NFT, which is your token that represents something unique. And it also represents contracts. It represents all kinds of agreements, so you've got a whole different type of world that we're about to evolve into. And it's not about making money on crypto. It's about understanding how this technology will change the way we understand the whole world, and also connect us all throughout the whole world in a system that's sustainable for everyone involved, not just a few people at the top. And that's what we're working away from, is we're trying to give equity to the whole world, so not a few people control everything, that the people out there control their own destiny and control their own wealth and control their own data.
Yeah, that's one of the things which I came across, that blockchain is going to, increase the transparency to such an extent.
It's going to democratize everything, blockchain.
Yes. And, everything would be visible to everybody, everything, the approval process, the distribution. So nobody can hoard the data right now, which is done by a few organizations or people. So it is out there and anybody could be part of it.
Correct. And that's where we get to democratization from, is being able to share and being able to own your own data versus someone else taking your data for free and selling it to everyone else. And the laws will change very quickly as to how you handle people's data and what you can do with it. Apple just came out and said that they've cut off Google and Facebook from utilizing their data. Think about what that happens throughout the world. And it's all about artificial intelligence, what it can do with that data.
So when during the COVID, when metaverse and NFTs, all those terminologies were on high, there were many leading premium fashion brands who launched on their exclusive collections for metaverse, right? So where do you see that industry going? Like right now, we don't see any hype for those collections, but at that time, many huge celebrities were putting their money on those NFTs and buying from all those collections as well. And we also heard that there will be a time when the people who can own an NFT can have the same product free of cost in the real world. So where do you see all these use cases going in the future?
Well, in the metaverse is, in my opinion, is basically geared towards the gaming industry. And it's a small portion of where we're headed to with all of the digital technologies that we're about to evolve into. And the metaverse is a large portion of what's happening now, because those people are a lot more advanced and adapted to the technologies. So that's why you're hearing more from NFTs and those type of things. And a lot of it is hype that you're taking advantage of the consumer with, because a lot of those NFTs are worthless. And you're seeing them develop tokens that are worthless, but all that's about to be regulated. So the SEC will come in and set some standards, which is what we've been asking them to do. So you'll know how to build your business based on the standards that they're giving everybody to work from. So a lot of the NFTs that we've known as NFTs is really not going to be what the NFTs are known for. They'll be known for contracts and agreements. And anything, it'll also represent you can have a piece of property that's an NFT.
The consumption economy is, while it's good for some companies and some people, yeah, it has its own adverse effects, and the lack of transparency doesn't really help there. So, before we wind up, one final question, you already covered it increasingly. If you had to give one advice to all the apparel companies out there who are still stuck in the analog world, what would it be?
They have to let go of the analog world and go out and jump into the digital world. And there's no one that can teach it to you. You have to learn it. It's changing that fast. So if you're not involved in it, you're not going to be able to keep up. So it's your choice now. You have to either say, I'm going to go and get involved in it and learn all these new technologies and all these new terminologies and things that you need to know to be able to survive in it, or are you going to be gone? Because those companies are dinosaurs right now. And the bigger the companies are, look at the companies out there now that have lost their market cap, and they're losing their market cap. Walmart lost 25% of their market cap this last year. Target lost 50% of their market cap. Federal Express, which everybody thinks is doing good, lost 20% of their market cap. These large companies are in trouble. That's why you see them laying off people globally all over the world, because the employees and their overhead is killing them, because the supply chain is broken completely in the whole world, and it won't be fixed. It cannot be fixed. We have to change our behavior up and become more sustainable and bring products closer to the consumer. So as a business person, if you're not looking at a microeconomy and becoming sustainable in your own community to make your community sustainable, then you're going to be in trouble, because this whole supply chain cannot be fixed. China has been shut down for the last 3 months. China is moving away from mass production into more of service-oriented business. Their middle class is larger than the whole U.S. population. So you've got a whole demographics that's changing throughout the world. China, India, and Africa are starting to consume as much product as the U.S. Where are we going to get all these raw materials from? That's why we're looking at hemp. Hemp has a capacity to give us 4 times more production on an acre of land than cotton. It only uses a fourth of the water. It's antibacterial, antiviral, and it's almost fireproof when you put it in housing. So you got 50,000 products that you could make from hemp. So most people are going to have to look at this world and say, how do we make it more sustainable? And hemp is the answer to that. Artificial intelligence is the answer to helping them build their businesses. And it's all built on the blockchain right now.
So everything is connected, and people have to realize it.
Well, they're going to realize it or play catch up, and it's going to be hard to catch up because this technology is moving very, very fast. Every day I wake up and I'm in meetings that they've developed something new or they're coming out with new products. And the people that are successful right now are the creative people that are taking these technologies and creating new ways of using them. And that's going to be the future of successful people, is how do I create new ways of using this technology to help society? Because it's all about changing the way that we behave in society and making it more sustainable for everyone. We cannot continue to function at the point that we are and dealing with the world the way we deal with it. We have to make this a more sustainable society for everybody on Earth. And we have to quit destroying our resources because we have a finite limited amount of resources.
I think, Samuel, that has been a great session. And, like our previous conversations, there were so many great points which make you realize what's happening out there. And
well, thank you for having me. I hope that I was able to share some things. I think sometimes I do get a little bit ahead of people, but on the other side of it, it's not ahead. It's what the reality of the situation is.